Assistance, free towing, free car rental, and free oil changes. Just dial star 253 on your mobile phone now to see if your car qualifies. That's star 253. Never pay for car repairs again. Just dial star 253 on your mobile phone now. Dial star 253.
WLIF HD2 Baltimore.
The all-new Praise 106.1.
An Urban One radio station, minority controlled and operated and serving the African American community for over 40 years.
Giving our city just what we need right now. Baltimore's inspiration station. Praise 106.1.
From the Big Al Studio, Baltimore's #1 accident attorney.
The views and opinions of the guests and hosts you hear are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or its advertisers.
African Voices Radio presents David Adodo Show on 106.1 FM.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
Hey, I cannot understand the love you showed to me. See the loving you give and I feel explain it. Oh, when I was lost, you found me. Now that I'm found, you bless me. You make me wonder, you make me dance like this. See this kind of God I never see. The love you showed to me is so amazing. Sent your only son to die for me. Now I live in glory. Oh, me ma, Nani Jehovah. As you pick me up, you set me on fire. Oh, me ma, Nani Jehovah. See this kind of love we give I never see before. Oh, me ma.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
Now we're back again, singing songs of praise. Doesn't matter what we face, we will give you praise. Through the rain and stormy weather, you've been good, and you've been a good father, you've been good. I can never go back to the world. Situations nothing make me fall. By His grace I am standing tall. Now I live in glory. Oh me ma, Nani Jehovah. As you pick me up, you set me on fire. Oh me ma, Nani Jehovah. See this kind of love you give I never see before. Oh me ma,
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
I believe in you. All I see is you. Everywhere I go, I will talk about your love. I can never go back to the world. Situations nothing make me fall. By His grace I am standing tall. Now I live in glory. Everybody say I can never go back to the world. Situations nothing make me fall. By His grace I am standing tall. Now I live in glory.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the David Adodo Show on African Voices Radio 106.1 FM. Today we do not have the entire crew in the house for some reason or another. We have myself, Tunde Phillips, and we also have Mr. Adodo, and then we also have Jason, our studio engineer, with us. So, Mr. Adodo, say something to our listeners and our guests.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Nice to see you on another beautiful David Adodo Show. Tunde.
Hey, how's it going?
The doctor is in the house. I think I just saw him.
I just saw him on his show. Oh, he's knocking on right on time.
I like that shirt that Mr. Adodo is wearing. I like the shirt.
I like those too, man.
That's original Calvin Klein.
Are you saying what I'm wearing? Is not original?
No. Yours is that's Ralph Lauren, Abi.
Hey now,
My
Doctor.
God.
Yeah, today, don't let me yab you. Don't let me yab you.
I'm being like these my mentors. Begin to wear original, not all these my China made shirts that I wear all the time.
Hey, Doctor. So good evening and welcome. The Queen will be joining us later. As soon as she can, and Mr. Charles is on his way driving to somewhere. But not much without ado, we shall continue with the show. The show must go on. So our usual topic is the coronavirus. We're still going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about the politics in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. And we're also going to talk about some other things. So, but straight up, I want to go to the doctor and start off with him. So how are we doing with the coronavirus?
You know, the what we have right now, or what we've been able to summate, it's no news that the number of infections or the number of cases are going up in various states in the US and also across other countries. It's coming down in some other countries in Europe, in Canada, but we're seeing spikes in Africa also. But what I really want to talk about is what they call optimism bias. Optimism bias is, I feel that I'm not going to get it, so
Star 253. Never pay for car repairs.
I'm not now scared. I'm not now careful. I'm not now paying attention. So I just live my life. So they call it optimism bias. I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing these spikes. People are partying a lot everywhere because they have that optimism bias. So they feel I can't have, like, it's not my portion. It's not me. You know.
Oh, doctor, we lost your audio.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh,
I just wanted to control something off by my background. So that's the thing. And if we can remove this optimism bias in everybody, it's not only in healthcare workers. It's a phenomenon we find in so many spheres of life. We find it in people that are in business. They feel I'm too strong, I can't fail. We find it in people that are well read. They feel they find it people that are very rich, people that are exposed. Find it in the young, especially when they hear that the death rate is more in the elderly. So they feel, okay, I'm young, I may get it. I may be asymptomatic at the end of the day. So that's a problem. That's where we are.
Wow. So before I go any further, somebody also snuck in behind the doctor. That's the person of the lady in the house, the Queen. The Queen is with us, and the Queen is looking exceedingly radiant today. I don't understand.
She's always radiant.
Queen, can you hear us?
I can hear you perfectly well because I'm just surprised. And look at the way I opened my mouth and what is going on here. T.
The Queen has a new hair. She has a new hairstyle on today.
Yeah, that's my dread. I've been covering it and having dread. You don't know. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's a new hairstyle. And I also went to the barber yesterday. I have a new haircut as well.
The Queen is looking beautiful today, seriously.
As usual.
Unfortunately, the husband
is not here.
I know, but he's missing me. He's missing it. Yeah.
That's wonderful. He knows you are in safe hands.
That's right.
I know. And thanks for coming to check up on me. I was cut off somewhere. I couldn't make it on time. I apologize for that, for coming late to the show. I welcome myself. And I welcome other people to David Adodo Show on 106.1 here in Baltimore.
Great. They said that it is an African proverb that says it is the big masquerade that dances last. So for coming late, you are the big masquerade.
The big masquerade knows himself. The big masquerade is smiling. The big masquerade is smiling. He knows himself.
So back to what we were talking about. So Mr. Adodo and I were having a discussion prior to the show, which I also want to bring Doctor into, that coronavirus, it seems like the science is lacking behind the technology. Science is still on the part of we have to try this, and 18 months to get to it. This is an age where we have electric cars. This is an age where you have cars powered by batteries. This is an age that you can do anything on your cell phone, but it seems like science has not caught up yet with the technology. Why do we have to go through a series of stages of test, and people are dying along the line? The numbers are increasing, before we I know we want to get a safe vaccine. I know we all want to be safe, but I think science is lacking behind this technology. There has to be some way of us, accelerating the pace of developing a vaccine.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. There's paucity of quality research at the moment. Even though some sectors are doing their best, people are doing their best, but there's paucity of there's limited how do I put it, experimentation. There's limited drive as we are, for a lot of reasons. Politics has really meddled into the whole thing. Politics, big power corporation. People are interested in pushing out publication rather than interested in getting to the cure. So let me explain something real fast.
Okay.
There are people that are doing actual research, like that is taking this virus, looking at it, doing 1 or 2 chemical formulations or pharmaceutical formulations, trying to get the cure. Those people are few. There are other people waiting for those people that are trying to bring those 1 + 2 = 3 gives us the cure. There are people that are waiting for them so that they could take their results and go and publish. So you find that there are so many publications out there by the second-tier people, while the frontliners, the actual people that are saying, okay, virus has this structure, virus will be susceptible to this molecule, to A, B, C molecule. There are few, and those people are not actually making noise. Now, those people are actually paid by big pharma corporations, and everybody has zeroed their mind, or is almost zeroing their mind that vaccine is going to be it. The other medications in progress, as if they are being jettisoned to the background or pushed aside a little bit. However, having said this, there are over hundreds of molecules that have passed through phase 1 that are going to phase 2. So there's hope. There's hope for the common man. I was listing them the other day, and I can continue listing them. But this is not new, because science is an act. There's a process to it. It's not like abracadabra or what they call it, just like snap. There's no magic wand. If you watch the history of plagues in the history of mankind, from the Black Plague to the bubonic plague to measles to hepatitis, it took time before we could understand it. And I think the same process is playing out. So
yeah, I think that's what we're trying to say. That at the time they made the cures for all those plagues that you mentioned, technology was not where it is right now as it was at that time. Mr. Adodo, if you want to say something, Mr. Adodo?
Yes. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that, like you rightly said some few minutes ago, we are in a jet age. We're not even, it's even more than a jet age now. And, when we have shuttles going to the moon, when we have in few hours and coming back, while we have, hydrogen-powered vehicles, while we have cell phones that can do wonders. I don't know what is going on in the field of science and research, because in the 1800s, we had major plagues, and a lot of people died. And here we are again, 2019 to 2020, thousands of people are dying. And there has been so much money invested in science and technology research over the years, trillions of dollars. One would think that by now they would have found a way to come up with quick solution to diseases that are killing human beings. You understand? This virus is almost 5 months old, and every day human beings are dying. Scientists, the scientists are doing what they are doing, but what I am saying in effect is this: there has to be a way to accelerate the production of vaccine and other medications to help save humanity. How long are we going to wait? People are dying every day. California, Texas, Arizona, the COVID incident is rising astronomically. In Africa countries, is gradually creeping into the system, and that is going to be, God forbid, it's going to be massive of them. So I don't know why the research is so slow as to taking 18 months to come up with a vaccine. It doesn't take the years that it used to take to produce a car, to make a car, has been drastically reduced. To build a house is drastically reduced. To do most of the things that people are doing these days, because of technology, the time has been cut into less than half. So why is it not in the field of medicine? Why do we still have to wait 18 months to come up with a vaccine that is killing human beings? Is it that people are just waiting for people to die for some reasons? I don't understand. Doctor, can you share some more light? I don't understand what is going on. Just to finish, when I started my business, the way I used to do it when I first started 20-something years ago, it's not the way that I'm doing it now. Things are getting better, faster, easier to do. So why is it not the same thing is in the field of medicine? Doctor?
Yeah, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. We're all. You're not wrong. Your observation is right. In fact, there's one of the journals I was reading, New England Journal of Medicine, that said that this coronavirus science has this is the greatest scientific failure. Yeah, greatest scientific, both failure in policies and failure in research. So we're still yet to understand why. Perhaps the unique nature of the virus, perhaps the quality of knowledge, perhaps we could blame it on external factors. It's not something I can explain. It's also, we're all puzzled. Everybody's really puzzled.
It's beyond you.
Yeah, I can't really explain it, but it was this pandemic has been termed the greatest scientific failure of mankind. The other plagues and the other outbreaks that we've had, MERS, SARS, within months.
Spanish flu.
Yeah, Spanish flu, dated back to measles, smallpox. Months. It took months, and the disease was fully understood, and possible treatments were meted out, measures, even policies, medical policies. Well, most of the policies even the 6 feet that we're talking about is still based on, 6 feet. Why are we using 6 feet? Why not 7 feet? Why not 20 feet? It's still based on, the median, median rate at which droplets travel when we talk. But some other research has come out to say that these droplets can go as far as 20 feet. Why are we using 6 feet? 6 feet. So there's been a lot of confusion everywhere, but we hope we get it right.
Because that is where we are, when they're saying 20 feet, 6 feet and stuff like that, it doesn't still really help because people still go out. And when people go out, there's tendency that they think will continue to spread. It will still continue to spread. So, the science, in a way, we can't conclude for now because it's just 5 months old. The science has failed. We can't conclude because it's a new thing. It's a new thing, and maybe they're still trying to understand this virus, the way the thing is spreading like wildfire. When they're talking of smallpox in those days that people still have up till now, I think it's a lot different from this particular one we're experiencing. We're experiencing something that like flying in the air. It doesn't matter that, it has to be body contact. When we're talking of droplets, which happens almost every time. It happens where we work. It happens in the family. It happens outside. Where somebody had passed before, if the droplet is there, if somebody goes through the same process, it automatically goes into the person's system. So it's difficult to me. I think they're still trying to understand what this particular thing is. It's taking long. It's true. The whole world is down economically. Nothing is moving. And from what we hear, we're going to remain like this till 2020, 21, 22. That is going to be like this. So does it mean that people will continue to die? If it's going to be like this, the precaution that we have to take, which is difficult, and people refuse to understand, is stay home. If you don't have nothing to do and out there, do not go out. But people are not listening. And that's why this thing is spreading so much. 100 years ago, when they had, I think maybe the Spanish flu, the law was passed that if they see you outside or if you don't wear your mask, they're going to jail you. I saw the picture and I read about it. But right now, people believe they have the freedom. They can do whatever they like. Even people walk into stores without wearing their mask. So it's to continue to spread. And it's going to be a whole lot on the people in medical field. They are overwhelmed, but people are not realizing it. All over the world, Africa, America, everywhere is the same thing. People are not listening.
Yes.
Before they're going to get the virus, it's going to take, the vaccine, it's not an automatic thing. Let's get it, let's believe it, let's get it right. Fine, the way they come up with different cars is different because one, the cars are there. If they're talking of Mercedes-Benz, the 2020 is coming, they're working on it. But nobody's preparing for virus. Nobody envisaged this at all. Towards the end of last year, nobody was thinking about this. The thing just sneaked in, like when they said Jesus is going to come unannounced. This thing just came in, boom, without notice, without preparation. So I think it was something that they were not prepared. It wasn't prepared for. Even what the scientists, what they were looking at is different from what came to them. So before they can, come up with something, gather themselves together and say, okay, this thing has to go through different, through different stages. And we're talking of vaccine. If they don't get it right, more people are going to die.
Yes.
If they are giving vaccine, if they rush it to bring it out and they start injecting people, the more havoc will be done than what we're even experiencing now. So let's give it to them. Of course, the policy is not helping matters because, whatever happens in this whole world, we don't know what is happening to us. We human beings, they put policy in it. They don't want to finance it. They're expecting this on because what we are looking at is different from what the selfish aspect of it is creeping into human life and people are dying. So I think the best you can do, if you don't have anything to do out there, especially now that it's summertime in advanced countries, people don't listen. They don't listen.
Yeah, Queen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just to add a little bit, why don't we, find out from the Chinese what happened? Why don't we go? I don't know. I'm not one of the policy makers. My name is. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there are so many. I don't like cooking up. I don't like saying blame games. But it's important that we bring out these blame games to the table because you have to understand where the problem are.
Yes.
You can solve it. Global effort and cooperation has really failed this period.
Yes.
Yeah. Global effort and cooperation has really failed. It's one of the problems. So the United States is a powerful nation, but they're acting alone. They recently pulled out from the World Health Organization.
Yes.
So that global cooperation is lacking in research. They have all the tools, they have the people, they have the finance, they have the power, they have the willpower. They could actually sit on the table and call China to table. But now they've pulled out from that unifying organization. Who's gonna hold China to ransom?
Nobody.
Who's gonna hold China to responsible? Nobody. That's one piece of the problem. Another piece of the problem is that political leaders, they did not listen to scientific experts. Even up till now, they are not listening to scientific experts. In various states, the governors, this is replicating all over the world. The governors, the presidents, they feel the scientific leaders have an agenda. So Anthony Fauci says something, somebody else superior to him comes out and says, who the heck is Anthony Fauci? I run this country, or I run my state. I'm going to open. So Florida opened. Now we have this avalanche of crisis, and they are running helter-skelter. Texas did not listen. Now we have it. So they were not listening to expert advice. That's another thing. So poor global corporation, they were not listening to expert advice. So many other little things I could say that has caused this avalanche of problem that we have. I already mentioned optimism bias in so many people initially. Optimism bias, I know the Queen wasn't here when I was talking about it. It's like feeling that I'm too strong, it's not gonna affect me. Optimism bias is one of the reasons why people go out and they don't wear their face masks. In their mind, they feel, oh no, the virus cannot get to me, I'm strong. Yeah, and we know strong political leaders. I don't want to mention names because I'm still coming up, but we know strong political leaders in this world that are not putting on their masks, and they're leaving thousands of people are looking up to them. And if people are looking up to them, people are trying to copy them. And they say, oh, why? My president is not putting on a mask. Why should I put on a mask?
Yeah, just not to cut it short, but in addition to what you're saying, you can see what happened to the Brazilian president. This was a man that was calling the coronavirus a minor flu and was always, joking about the virus. He contracted the virus. And what did he do? He went ahead and took hydrochloroquine. As much as the doctors have said, scientists have said that it is not good for you, it is not a cure for coronavirus, this man went ahead and is taking it and is telling the people in his country that, this is good, I feel good already, take this medicine, you're going to feel all right. Hydroxychloroquine, which the scientists have all come up to say it does not help with coronavirus. That is the president of a nation, That's in support of what you were saying about leaders going ahead to, doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. So once you are in a position like that, you carry a very big microphone. Whatever you say, people listen. At the same time, not everybody listens. If you tell me put my hand in fire, I know it's going to burn me. Why would I want to burn myself? So if you're telling me something that is not right, it's for me to withdraw. But it's not the case. It's not the case. So as it stands now in Africa, the total number of coronavirus cases is 559,446 in the whole of Africa. There are 12,769 deaths, and there are 271,826 recoveries. So more people are recovering in Africa as compared to in the Western world. I don't know what the magic is.
The magic is this.
Okay.
The typical African has a very strong immune system because the water they are used to, they are used to the fruits and the vegetables and organic food, over there, organic meat. Most of these meats are not processed that they eat over there. Most of the foods are not processed, straight from the farm. So they've been able to build, in my own way of thinking, they've been able to build strong immune system, over the ages, and they have contacted a lot of diseases, like malaria, fever, measles, smallpox, chickenpox, here and there, and they have been able to, get immune to to all these diseases. So, and from what people are saying, this very virus is not that different. The signs and symptoms are not seriously different from malaria. So if they are able to use, herbs, their natural herbs, which they have used over the years, when they have malaria and have other diseases, they've been able to use. Every time they come up with something that looks like a fever, like these signs and symptoms of this virus, they go back to using the natural herbs. They are able to cook some of these herbs and steam themselves, and they are able to recover. I'm made to understand that once they fall sick and they see the signs and symptoms at an early stage, and they use these concussions, these natural herbs, they recover. But if this virus is able to sneak into their system and stay a very long time before they start treating themselves, the tendency that they die. Like some of these, most of these politicians, as you can see, they are dying because they don't want to accept the fact that these herbs, they all in the name of education. These herbs. So they don't want to sit down by a big pot of concussions and steam themselves. So they end up going to the hospital, and the science is unable to cure them, and they die. But the average man on the street, the old women on the street, they go to the farm, they use these herbs, they use it as stick, they are able to get get immunity, and they recover. That's what I think. And the humidity, I don't know what role that might play. The heat, they sweat a lot because of the heat, and they feel strong. But that does not mean that people are not dying down there. A lot of people are dying down there. They are not taking the necessary precautions. Most of them are not wearing masks. I was watching in my state, in Edo State, one of the deputy governor of the state, deputy governor of the state went to his village. Hundreds of people were all gathering him, not wearing masks. And this is the political leader that is supposed to tell his people, wear mask. They were all running after him. And these are the people that don't have 3 square meals a day. These are the people that have bad roads. They don't have means of transportation. And they are running around this man that is a billionaire. I don't understand what is going on. And this deputy governor is not even telling his people, wear mask, maintain social distancing. Everybody is just clustering around him. And most of these people are going to get infected. It's so sad.
It's very unfortunate. It's really, really very unfortunate.
Well, let me just weigh in on that a little bit. From statistics, if you look at the statistics that are being turned out during this COVID-19, you will discover that the rate of testing can also affect what you just said. The US is testing far more than any country in the world. So they are bound to have a perceived higher disease burden. That does not mean that the other countries, compared to other countries, for example, if you look at the daily number of testing per 100,000 in the US, compared to the daily number of testing per 100,000 in somewhere like Egypt or maybe Australia, you find out that the US is testing far more. So if they have a higher burden of disease, Australia will look as if they are doing better, but that does not necessarily mean that Australia is doing better. Because when you're analyzing statistics, you have to weigh so many matrices together.
Exactly.
It's one of the most bubbling economy. They just opened Kohl's, Kohl's, and the other, grocery shops. Well, both grocery shops or whatever you want to categorize it. If you look at the number of people outside today, because the US, an average American citizen has a higher spending power compared to other countries in the world. So they have a higher movement rate. They go out, they party more, they travel more compared to someone in Benin, for example, who is looking at his pocket and is thinking, okay, I don't want to go out, so I don't spend my last couple. But hey, I just drive out, I go to McDonald's. If you see the queue today in Walmart, it's unbelievable. I just came back from Walmart and I was like, wow. There's so much spending power, which is driving people to go outside, to go and look at the stimulus that are coming out, the SBA loans, the PPP loans, the government's return. So these factors eventually cause more people to put themselves in harm's way. And at the end of the day, it will look as if the US is doing more poorly than other countries. So when you're looking at statistics, it's good to weigh it, with other metrics before we can make those interpretations.
I know in Africa people are dying, but the only people we hear that dies are all these people we name, like what somebody said last week. A whole lot of people are dying, but the record is not there. Like, who take the statistics? A whole lot of anybody that is sick, they just die like that, the family will just bury them. Who knows them? Who knows what kills them? Nobody knows. But this thing is there. They are dying every day in Africa of COVID. But the number, the statistics we're seeing online, it's not really what is happening over there. That is the truth. Because we can't compare America or other countries, advanced countries, to some of these African countries where we believe that nobody really cares for them. How many isolation centers do they have? How many people are there? The few isolation centers they have, they're trying. The doctors are trying. They're discharging people. People going there, they're going with COVID, and they're coming out. And you see some people, they have this COVID, they tell them to go, they refuse to go. They have to practically force them, bundle them inside the ambulance to take them to the hospital. They don't want to go. So people are dying, but nobody knows them because they don't have name. We only read about all these politicians that are dying. That's the only thing. My own take.
I wanted to ask the doctor a question.
Yeah, Jesse wants to say something.
Go ahead, Jim.
I just wanted to not to kind of downplay viruses, but I'm wondering if the complicated mechanism of how viruses work versus scientific information and money and resources, may be the difficulty here. And the reason why I say that is because I was reading an article the other day from the Detroit News, and I have it pulled up. It says, why the coronavirus and most other viruses have no cure. And although we have treatments, and some of those treatments are very not as robust or as strong, because there are treatments for Ebola, but depending on what condition you're in, treatments may not help you. There are treatments for HIV, but depending on how far you're in HIV stage, there's a possibility that these treatments can't help you. But the article goes on to say that although there are treatments, it's very complicated because of the mechanism of how viruses work. They depend on a host, whereas a bacteria is a living organism. A virus is technically not a living organism unless it's in a human cell, and it has to reproduce in a human cell. So I'm wondering if there may not never be a cure for some of these complicated viruses that we see, coming on the horizon, because of just the sheer nature of how they operate. And it may not be about science or money. What is your take on that, Doctor?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely, near correct is a word. From history, none of these viruses has actually had a cure. We could reduce the viral burden. We could limit the spread a little bit. We could reduce the virulent factor. Those are factors that make it either bind to the cell or integrate itself to the cell. But they've not been able to develop cure that's a definite cure for many of them. And I think this one is following the same pattern. So it's a very candid observation. One of the limiting factors. However, despite that, the other organisms you mentioned, for example, HIV, is also a virus, shares similar property with this coronavirus as being a virus. Not that they are in the same class of viruses, but we've been able to suppress HIV significantly by these new modern protease inhibitors and other NNIs or NNRTs that we've produced. I think we're still very young, 6 months into this virus or 7 months into this virus. Let's see how the next 3 or 4 months will play out before we begin to draw conclusions. That's what I would say.
Another 4 months of people dying every day?
I wish I had the answer, but this virus may not go away soon. If anybody's, the thing is, this is my own personal point of view, right? From the way I've studied this virus and I've seen the trend, my own personal opinion, this virus is not going away soon. It's not going away soon. The earlier we begin to adjust our lifestyle to suit into the narratives that this virus may not go away soon, the better.
Jesus.
That's my own personal view.
Yes.
I know I'm on air. I'm not Anthony Fauci. I'm just one of the, in quote, the low guys in the ladder, right? But
it is amazing to hear that we have to change our lifestyle to suit a virus. It should be the other way around. We put in all efforts, regardless of what it's going to cost financially, put politics aside and just, face this thing head on strong and find a vaccine. I think one of the issues that has also delayed the production of vaccine for this virus has been that politics came into it. Something that affects human life should not be something that politics should come into. The economy came into it. You have to be healthy, to have an economy. You have to be healthy to be able to, produce, to be able to go to work. You cannot go to work if you're sick. So the economy should take a backseat and let us face this virus head on, find a vaccine, take care of it. Then we go back to the economy. The economy is not going anywhere because as much as the stimulus check and everything else is being given out to people, to keep their businesses going. I know people are hungry. You have to make money. If you are a business person, you need money. You have to make money to support your bills, to support your family, to support the things that you're doing. But at what expense are you doing that? Your life is at risk. There's a gentleman who owns a restaurant somewhere. I believe I was watching this on TV. I believe it's in Texas. As soon as they were given the go-ahead to open up, he opened up. His customers came in, shook hands, hugged him and everything. The man is in the hospital with coronavirus now.
Why would he allow people to hug him? I love money. I want to make money, but I won't allow people to hug me.
It is not that you just live in a bubble. If you're used to someone like I see you, all of a sudden, we all forget about coronavirus. The governor says that we all can open up. We should go out. And, it's
exactly
human nature. It's excitement. We're out. Oh, how you doing? How did you... Before you know, we're hugging, we're shaking hands. The man is in the hospital right now. Yeah.
Tunde.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, talking about the political aspect of it, I just want to commend the governor of our state, Larry Hogan. He has been doing a fantastic job. He has been taking a lead in the reduction of the COVID-19. I happened to I was with him in December, and he's a very fine gentleman. He's a Republican, but he's doing the right thing. He's the guy that he recovered from cancer, and I told him that very day. I said, "Sir, I also recovered from cancer." He was like, "Wow, God bless you, God bless you." So this man is taking the bull by the horn, and in the state of Maryland, the rate of COVID is going down. And another thing I want to say, my Africans, please, Africans in America, please, stop partying right now. Stop partying right now. Don't hold meetings and feel that. Somebody told me that she went to a meeting. She was with, and everybody there were like, "Why are you wearing a mask? Maybe you have coronavirus. That's why you are wearing a mask." I said, "Please, in the name of God, wear mask." So I don't know why some people in African community are hosting parties, doing doing all sorts of gatherings, and they're not wearing masks.
David, it's not only African community.
But I have to stress to my people.
You have to stress to everybody. We're talking to. We have been talking to everybody.
Excuse me. I'm not tribalistic here.
No.
I've said to a lot of people. I have to place emphasis on my people. I have said it. We're talking about it, but I have to not narrow it down to my people.
Exactly.
Wear your mask. Don't party.
Let me ask a question.
Don't party, please. For right now.
Let me ask probably everybody who can contribute, including Jason. Why do you think the media has been saying all the precautionary measures? The health experts have been putting out all the precautionary measures.
Yeah.
The government have been putting out. Everybody's aware. In fact, if there is anybody in the United States or anywhere in the world that is not aware of these precautionary measures, to help reduce this virus. If there's anybody in the world that is not aware, there are very few, probably less than 1%. But despite that, despite what Mr. Adodo is saying, people should not party. Tomorrow, people are going to party. In fact,
exactly.
I am invited, or the word is, I'll be going for a party tomorrow. Why do you think people go to party? People are putting these warning signs by the side and still neglecting it. Why? What do you think?
I think the answer, is in your very first sentence when you came on the program today. What was that word you came up with? Something bias?
Optimism bias. Yeah.
Optimism bias.
Right.
People believing that I cannot get it. I'm immune to it. And so let's get together and party. And that's what the issue is. But one thing that I've noticed with this pandemic is that a lot of words have come to be. We've had 6 feet. We've had social distancing. Now we have optimism bias from the doctor. We have also kind of words that have come up. Yeah, and yet, the vocabulary for corona is increasing.
The other time we were talking about this, that, why are people going out all of a sudden? Initially, people were listening. They were listening to what the government is saying. But all of a sudden, it's like they revolt. They started revolting. They started going out. I think maybe because of boredom, or doctor used one adjective to qualify that it gets to a point that human beings, they get tired. They just want to do what they want to do. We all know people that are going out, they're partying, they know. But over time, like, nobody wants to go visit anybody in January, in February, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Everybody was scared. But all of a sudden, what happened? People started going out. They're tired. They just wondered, like, well, Corona is there. It's not going anywhere. Let's enjoy ourselves. I can't get it. Exactly. That is what is going on. People are not listening. And that's why the thing will continue to spread, because people are now going out.
So what I will advise many health leaders is to change their tactics, because in life, let me use economics for example. There is the point of elasticity in the elastic curve. There's a point where no matter how much you put in your business, it has stabilized. It cannot grow beyond that. I've forgotten what it's called. Probably. They call it diminishing return. Yeah, diminishing return. Yeah. No matter how much you put, no matter how much advice we say now, if we say stay 6 feet, blah blah, it's not yielding results. So we should go back to our drawing table and change tactics. That's what I want. That's my observation right now. I think there's a need to re-strategize on how we're putting all this information, what we're saying, or what we're doing. Yes. Probably we should. One of the things I observed initially, and I wrote a recommendation in some of my articles that I wrote, is that the key stakeholders, the community leaders, the church leaders, there are some stakeholders that you need to carry along whenever you're issuing out any health policy. You need to bring them on the table and make them understand, why am I doing this? They were not carried along initially. It was a politician's call. So they just sat down on the table, called some few doctors, and they made an announcement. Churches closed down, mosques closed down, Walmart closed down. They did not involve the key stakeholders. They carried along the journalists, but the pastors, the leaders of the community, were not brought to the table. And those people, I tell you, they command a lot of followership. If TD Jakes comes out and say no fellowship today in my church because of this, people are going to listen to him. But here we have so many pastors saying this, we're going to fellowship. One of the reasons why those pastors are revolting is that I think they felt left. They felt that it was an attack on their church, it was an attack on the gospel, it was an attack on their business, it was an attack on their. But if you had called the commerce and industry, and I don't want to say the same thing over and over again, but you understand what I mean. Carrying the key stakeholders along, it's very important in any economic or health policy that you want to pass in any state. And I believe our governor is listening to us. There's a need to reinforce what he has been doing. The key stakeholders should be carried along.
I think some folks want to get back to normalcy. I think that's some of it. And I agree with David Adodo. I commend the governor for taking his stance in this position, especially with what's taking place recently with our president and him wanting to open back the schools up and forcing the schools, to open back up. You have one side, this sense of urgency to get back to business, to get back to teaching our children, to get back to some normalcy in this country. But then and mingle, amongst their friends and community. So, I understand both sides, but we still have to really rule on the side of caution. And I'm just kind of curious as to what the doctor thinks about this rush or this urgency to open back up for business and to even open back up for schools and put our children and possibly their families at risk, because the children may go home who may be carriers and may not show any type of signs of infections. We know that there's a lot of folks that are asymptomatic, and children tend to be more asymptomatic. And then they go home and they get grandma and grandpa sick. They go home and they get mother and father sick, and then, and they end up infecting the whole household. But I'm wondering, what do you think about, that sense of urgency to open things back up?
I think it's a risky trial that we're passing through now. It's very risky. Everybody should stay put wherever you are until there's normalcy. It's tough. It's very tough, but it's very risky. It's a risky trial. On the other hand, there's what we call herd immunity. Herd immunity is when a significant percentage of the population has been infected, and those population have developed immunity over it. Now, if we look at the statistics that we have, there have not been a reported reinfection. They've not reported reinfection. So let me use, for example, if I have it and I recover, I may not have it again. The word is may not have it again.
When somebody had it, there's a doctor that was infected, and he recovered and he got reinfected again.
And there was a guy that was in a nursing home got it, and from the nursing home, got treated, was released, put into a recovery center, and then end up catching it in the recovery center. So there has been some documented cases.
Right. So, but those documentations are very
rare.
Very rare. However, and it also can be explained. Let me explain, for example. The PCR machine that we use in detecting this virus, which is, like almost a gold standard, picks up the viral particle. Whether the viral particle is alive or dead, like Jason was explaining, the virus is activated by the host immunity, right? So, but the PCR machine does not look at, is this virus alive or is this virus dead? It just picks out sets of proteins that are arranged that gives a signature of the virus and says this virus is present. So for those cases that they say there was a reinfection, or some scientists will argue that, how sure are you that it is a reinfection? What if it is a viral particle? I'll use, for example, the respiratory lining has cells, epithelial cells in there, and it takes a number of days. I don't remember exactly. I think 14 days or 21 days for the entire epithelial cells to regenerate, to shed off and get new ones. And these viral cells, they live in these epithelial cells and in other cells. So if I tested positive last week and the dead cells are still in me and they stayed this long, I may test positive in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And also remember the mode at which we do these testings. We put in the swab to your nasopharynx and we swab. What if where I'm putting the swabs, I don't get a positive cell there? It becomes a false negative, right? And they do it 3 times and I get false negative. Then eventually, after some days, my respiratory cilia, my cilia cells push up the dead cells and the dead particles up again, just like the respiratory tract pushes out dead debris in a constant motion, like like the way, let me use the
ocean.
Yeah, like a constant motion, like the algae that you watch in the movies, the way they swing, that's the way those cilia cells, push out these things. So I do the first test, I get negative, I do the second test. So there are factors that could also account for false negativity, false positivity, but these are too much semantics to be discussing on the radio. However, I wanted to talk about the herd immunity thing. On the flip side of the coin that Jason said, if a greater percentage of people are infected and they get this virus and they're able to develop immunity, we may achieve herd immunity over a period of time. But it's a very risky experiment because there will be collateral damages. Some people are going to get the virus and they will not be able to stand the test of time, So there will be more death, so much death before we'll be able to achieve that.
What's the percentage of herd immunity? Because I've heard anywhere between 70 to 80% would be needed to achieve that.
Of the population.
Of the population.
It's about that.
70%?
Right.
That is where the concern is, because these are children going back to school. There'll be more deaths before we get herd immunity.
We hope it's not going to happen.
So that's again, I do not see why it's the same issue. The rush to open the economy, the rush to open up the schools. The rush to open the economy did not work. We have spikes everywhere. Now we're going into schools. These are children. Once they see their friends, oh, how are you?
I know.
I like your mask. Let me try it on and see. And then the coronavirus is spreading and spreading and spreading. And nobody is thinking about this. Even if they sit 6 feet apart in classes, even if you reduce the number of the students in the classes, these are children. They will move around. They will play around. Mm-hmm. Even in high school, they will shake hands with their friends and move around. And once it's recess time, everybody forgets about coronavirus and everybody's mingling.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to keep them with masks on. I mean,
exactly.
They don't wear masks.
It's gonna be very hard. I do not know why the government is not thinking about this, that they are putting people's children, in danger.
It's scary.
And when it comes to people's children dying from coronavirus, we're going to have a different situation in our hands. It's going to lead to anarchy. Because if every parent in one school, I don't know how many percentage of students die from coronavirus in one school, same thing happens in another school, then we're having a situation where every parent, it's going to be chaos. I do not think that schools should be opened. They should continue with the distant learning online and everything. We should adjust. This is a different time. We all want our children to go to school. We all want them to leave the house and, in-person classroom and everything. We all want all that good stuff. But right now, while the coronavirus is still spiking and it's out there without no vaccine, we should please, lightly take our time to going back to school and opening the schools. The schools, okay, you go to school, you graduate, you're not going anywhere. The coronavirus is out there. So what's the essence?
There's no point.
There's no point.
Amen.
Amen. The 2020 graduates, what are they doing now? They're home.
They're home. So what is it? What's the rush?
Tunde.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Adodo.
This is just I just want to ask this question. It's a very inquisitive question, because I'm always thinking. I'm thinking about cigarettes. When people that are smokers, does it have any effect of any kind on coronavirus? Because when they put the cigarette in their mouth and they inhale this warm smoke and they bring it out from their nose, I'm kind of thinking that the temperature of that very smoke might inhibit the virus that are in your nostril. Is that the correct analysis?
No. It's not a correct analysis at all.
Okay.
It's not a correct analysis at all.
Okay.
In fact, CDC, WHO, all the health regulatory bodies have issued serious warning that smoking actually worsens, makes you more prone to getting coronavirus.
How?
Yeah.
How?
Also makes you more prone to becoming severe. So if you have a smoker and you have a non-smoker, a smoker has more tendency to have a more severe form of coronavirus than a non-smoker. For a lot of reasons, time will not permit me to explain.
Doctor, please, and Queen, Doctor, look at it from this perspective, from this angle. I don't smoke cigarette. I see a lot of people smoking cigarette. They hold this cigarette. They inhale this steam. I mean, the smoke, the warm smoke. They inhale the warm smoke from their mouth with their mouth, and it comes out from their nostril still warm. And I don't know the temperature. I don't know the temperature of that very smoke. Do you think that the temperature of that very smoke is hot enough to inhibit this virus? I'm just asking.
Yeah, you have to be. Let me. It sounds. You have to think outside the box. Okay, it's out of time, but it sounds magical, but it's not true. Remember that the smoking you smoke only goes to the surface. There's there's what they call dead space in the lungs. It's not going into the cells. The coronavirus are in your cells.
In your cells.
All in your cells and your body fluid, right? The smoking is just moving through this dead space and it's going out.
But if this virus are in your nostrils, they are still there, right, in your nostrils.
Right.
And you inhale this warm smoke, and you bring it out from the nose.
Right.
You understand?
Right. So let me answer you quickly. So what is the percentage of the surface area of your nostril compared to the percentage of the number of cells, billion cells in your body? You have billion viruses in your body. So let's say percentage 1% to 99%. So if you expose heat to 1%, how does it neutralize the remaining 99% of the human body?
You are a doctor. I'm asking you.
Yeah, no. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Doctor, when you smoke, doctor, I don't want some people to go with the notion that cigarette smoking. I just want you to dispel.
Yeah, cigarette smoking.
That notion that cigarette smoking can inhibit virus. I just want you to do us a favor and let everybody know that it doesn't work.
Cigarette smoking does not inhibit the virus. Cigarette smoking is very, very dangerous in all ramifications.
Dangerous.
I'll hate to cut everybody short, but we are out of time. Again, it's been an interesting David Adodo Show on African Voices Radio. We thank all our listeners and everybody who's watching.
It's already time.
And another platform. Yes, it is time. So time flies when you're having fun. So we will be back next week with another interesting and intriguing topic. We're sure to have something different from Corona, but I'm sure everybody is tired of listening to us about coronavirus. But we have to keep putting
what can we do?
We have to keep saying it so that until everybody gets it. So I want to go back to the Queen and let her give her last words so we can round up.
For this week, I know people are depressed actually. They don't want to hear about corona. Even somebody like me, I'm tired of hearing about coronavirus. I want to go out, but I'm just being careful. And one question for everybody: are we expecting another stimulus?
We'll find out next week. We have to round up the show. We'll find out next week.
Not for people like Mr. Adodo, business people.
Thank you.
Doctor, give your last words.
I don't need more than
we have to round up the show, so smoking predisposes you more to coronavirus.
Thank you so very much. It's been nice. It's been nice on David Adodo Show on 106.1 FM here in Baltimore, Maryland, US of A. And we can't leave without saying a very big thank you to our sponsors. Day Food and Poultry, we say thank you so much. We're expecting more people. Heritage International Food, thank you. Radostown, God bless you. Africa International Food, thank you so much. We're going to see you people next week. Keep safe, as we all say. I want to go out, but be careful, maintain social distance, whether that is live has good things to do. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Adodo.
Well, I want to say that the inquisitive mind always leads to inventions, creativity. So I just asked that question about cigarettes so as we can have a clear understanding of where we stand. I wish everybody a happy weekend. Stay out of trouble. Protect yourself at all times. Your mask should always be your companion. Use sanitizer and maintain social distancing. God bless you.
Thank you all for joining us for another intriguing edition. We'll see you all next week. Have a great week. My name is Tunde Phillips. We're out. Thank you.
Working for your good, working for you. Happiness is key. What you know they have. Everything is working. Working for your good, working for your good. Oh, you're dancing now like a winner man. Praise the Lord, move your body. Hallelujah, dancing now like a winner man. Praise the Lord, move your body. I beg you, let me make a dance. She be like the word of God to be my medicine. Now goodness and mercy, now then go they follow me. Even if I like, I go to shakara for them. From glory to glory, now be my story. Na 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 na.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
As we dance, make you carry favor, blessings, grace, miracles, favor, blessings, grace, miracles, anything we want, blessings, grace, miracles, make you carry favor.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
Miracles.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
WLIF HD2 Baltimore.
The all-new Praise 106.1.
An Urban One radio station, minority controlled and operated and serving the African American community for over 40 years.
Giving our city just what we need right now. Baltimore's inspiration station. Praise 106.1.
From the Big Al studio, Baltimore's #1 accident attorney.
America votes. A leader is chosen.
Your vote is important.
Make the right choice.
Praise 106.1 knows we have the power to change the course of history. Make sure your voice is heard with one vote. We have the power and the voice to decide the direction of our communities and our nation. Don't sit back. Take action and register to vote on newsone.com/vote and make your voice heard. The right to vote gives us the power to hold those in office accountable and to remove those who do not represent our values. Be empowered. Get involved. Early voter registration begins October 22nd through October 29th. Every one vote counts. Don't sit on the sidelines this year. Make sure you are registered to vote and vote early. Log on to newsone.com/vote. Let your voice be heard with Praise 106.1.
I'm Jewel Burks, ambassador for Gold Series. Because of the work I put in behind the scenes, I'm good enough to be in whatever room I'm in. Youngest person in the room? Check. Only woman? No problem. Only black woman? All good. My work is my passion and my purpose. I'm Jewel Burks, managing partner of Collab Capital. How do you work?
Gold Series hair products work hard like you, providing deep moisture to strengthen and protect your hair from within. We work hard while you work wonders.
Taking care of a new baby is a big responsibility. If you are taking care of a baby, you need to know how to put that baby to sleep safely. Most sleep deaths happen when a baby is sleeping with someone else on a bed or on a sofa. All babies need to sleep in a crib every night, and every nap